Hello everyone, it is Heath with the Groovy Gold Hunter again in my garage as usual. This is my go-to place. This is my happy place, to be honest. I've never spent as much time in this garage as I have since I started gold panning. And I'm putting my gold panning aside for a second because I bought a kit, and I bought a kit that tests the purity of gold. Basically, it tells you how many carats your gold is. So I've been collecting my gold, haven't tried to resell it, haven't tried to melt it down. I've kept it in its natural state or placer state, however you want to say that. I didn't want to mess with it because I know that you can get more money out of the natural state than if I were to melt this down and put it in a big block. And I don't have enough gold to put in a big block anyway. So this is what I want to do today. I want to test some of the bigger pieces that I have because I want to see what the purity is, or how many carats the gold has in each one of these little nuggets or pickers or whatever you want to call it. So when I buy gold pay dirt and I buy from different vendors, I never separated it, and I wish I had. Now looking back, I wish I had separated each vendor and kept it separate from each other, but I just piled it all in one, so there's no way I could tell you which gold came from where. So I'm just going to pick out a few of these little pieces of gold, and we're going to test them with this test kit that I bought on Amazon. I saw some other gold test kits that were like $300 or $400, and it looks like all you do is just put the little detector on the gold and it just automatically tells you how many carats it holds. But man, those things were like $300, $400. I don't have $400 to spend on a test kit, so we went with the cheap route, which is the highly flammable, highly corrosive, melt your hands off acid test kit. So yes, I highly recommend whoever buys one of these kits, please have an adult supervision around you. If you're a little kid wanting to test out gold or whatever, if you're an adult and you're not very responsible, make sure you get a responsible adult to handle one of these kits as well. I'm going to put my gloves on, I'm going to put my mask on and all that stuff because apparently vapors and all that stuff. I don't know how toxic this stuff is and how dangerous it is. I read about it and it said it's pretty dangerous, so I'm just going to assume the worst and make sure I have all my protective gear. But this is what came with it. This is a little scratch block that you scratch your gold across right here. This is silver. I guess this one tests if you have silver or not. But then the rest of these four right here are all your gold test kits. 10 carat and below is this one. 14 carat to 10 carat is this one. 18 carat to 14 carat is this one. So, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then you got your 22 carat to 18 carat for this one. So basically the test is pretty simple. All you do is take a piece of gold, which we'll do in a second. You scratch it against this surface, and then you just take a dropper and put one drop over the gold. Now you start with 10 carat. Once you put the drop over the gold, if the gold disappears, then you know you have less than 10 carat purity of gold. If it doesn't dissolve and disappear, then you go to your next step, which is your 14 carat. Put another drop on it. If it disappears, you know you have between 10 and 14. If the gold's still there, you know you've got more than 14 carat, and you move up to 18 carat, and so on and so forth. If you get to the 22 carat and you put it on there, if it still stays, then you know you have 22 carat or higher, which is 24 carats the highest you can get. And then this solution right here is to clean the block of the acid so you don't have any contaminants when you're trying to do different types of gold. After you use these, after you scratch your gold on here, you put all these on here, then you put this on this little block and clean it off really good, and we will get into that in just a minute. So let me get some pieces of gold and we'll start testing right away.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if this is how protected I'm supposed to be, but I got my safety glasses on. Unfortunately, I can't see out of them because they're not prescription safety glasses. And I don't know if you can hear me because I've got this on. So maybe I'm going a little bit too extreme, and plus I can't handle anything with these waterproof, acid-proof gloves that I have as well. So let's maybe take it down a notch and hope that I don't kill myself.
Okay, I think this is a little bit better. I have a little bit more mobility with my hands, and I just put on one of these little surgical masks, so hopefully this will be enough. And I've got eyeglasses on, and so it's not going to penetrate my prescription glasses, plus I can see what I'm doing. So let's get down here. Whoop, there we go, and let's get started on this. Now, I have never done this before, so I am going to do this for the first time with you because, again, never done this before. So I'm going to find me a pretty good size. Ooh, look at that one. How about that one? We're going to start with that one, let you guys see it up close. So this is the one I'm going to start out with, this little bad boy right here. Let me shine a little light on it. We're going to start out with this nugget right here. No clue where it came from. I want to say that's probably Gold Bay that I bought this from, because I bought a 5-gram bag of pay dirt from them, and it came with some pretty big little nuggets here. For me, that's a huge nugget, but isn't that pretty? We're going to take this block, and we're going to take this piece of gold, and we're going to scratch across it. Now, I read the directions, and it said to just scratch all the way through the block. It didn't say how thick it needed to be and all that stuff, so I'm just going to take the thickest part that I can find. We'll just lay it on its belly. Oh, it kind of made 2 scratches. Well, we'll go with 2 scratches. I don't know if you can see that, but I will show you. Right there is 2 scratches of gold. Let's scratch it a little. Let's make some pretty big scratches. I don't like wasting all of my gold. Oh, good Lord. That's probably like a 1/2 gram of gold right there. I just scratched on that surface. So we're going to stick that back over here and blow some of the flakes that I scratched. And yeah, let's start with the 10 carat and see what happens here. So it says just to put 1 little drop over the gold, so that's what we're going to do. And if it disappears, we know we got crappy gold. All right, there's your 1 drop. Immediately put this back on and observe. Let's get it close to the camera. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a better light on it. I'll zoom in the editing. So after putting that acid on there, gold is still there. It has not disappeared at all. So that's a good thing. That means that our gold is better than 10 carat. So I'm going to set this back down. Now what I think I should do is get me a paper towel and take some of this acid cleaning solution and clean off that little area. Now I just wiped that completely off, and my acid, or the gold, disappeared with the acid, so I hope that didn't hurt it. From what the directions said, all you do is just drop it on there. You do not smear it, you don't rub it in, you just drop it, and if it disappears, then you know you got that. So we know that the gold was still there with the 10 carat. So let's go to the 14 carat right here, the green bottle, and we'll do the same thing. We'll put it right here, 1 drop. There it is. And let's see what happens. Put a little, like a little smoke cloud or something. I can see it smoking. Oh wow, why is it smoking? Oh, I need to put my mask back on. Now I see why. I can smell it. So if I can smell it, that means that it is putting off a, ooh, man. Yeah, now I see why they want it in a ventilated area, because I can smell the acid. So as you can see, after dropping the 14 karat acid on there, and if you can see this smoke coming off of it as well, gold is still there. So let's immediately, oh wow, it bubbled up. Let's get that crud off there and put another drop on there, make sure that stays off. Yeah, this acid is no joke. All right, it still stayed. There's the 14 karat. So let's go to 18 karat and see what happens when I dab a little on there. I'll move it over a little bit. All right, there's my 18 karat. Let that set for a minute and see what happens. Yeah, this one didn't smoke or anything, but I can still see my gold. It's still on there. So either I'm doing this wrong or this is better than 18 karat gold. And I can still see the gold even after I wiped off the other two. I can still see remnants of the gold on there as well. Let me get this in better light. It's pulling the gold off, but it's not causing it to disappear. Okay, after doing the 10, 14, and the 18 karat, my gold still stays on this block. I've got a bunch of gold right there, so I'm going to put my final testing solution, which is the 22 carat, 1 drop on top of that and see what happens. Put 2 drops just to see what would happen. It's really hard to see, and it's not going anywhere. So either I've got a bad solution or I've got really good gold. I can't tell. But yeah, the gold's still on there. It kind of dissolved a little bit, but not much. I can still see it. So let me rub it in there a little bit to see what happens. Yeah, when I read the directions, it stated that you just drop it on there. You don't rub it in or anything. You just drop it on there. And if it disappears from the drop, then you know that your gold is in that range. Really weird. This little piece right here is either 24 karat pure gold, or I'm not doing my test right. So let's try another piece. Like I said, I'm doing this for the first time. I want to see if I can find me a piece of gold that does not look like it would be 24 karat. Let's see what we can find here. That looks like a pretty dull piece of gold. All right, so let's try it again. I have another block. I'm gonna wash that block off, but this Pure test kit came with 2 stones. We're gonna place it right here. This time I'm just gonna do one at a time. I'm gonna put a scratch here and put a test, and I'm gonna scratch it again and again and again. So let's start right here. I don't like wasting all my gold with scratching it on this surface. That's the one part I don't like about this. I'm losing gold testing it. So let's start this. This time we're just going to do 1 line and 1 test at a time. So we're going to start again with the 10 carat. So here's the 10 carat, and I'm going to put 1 drop on there, on that area, and then we're just going to watch it. It's really hard to see. Maybe I should get me where's my magnifying glass? Let's see. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that, but let's pull the camera out. So I went ahead and washed it off, the solution and everything, but let's see if you can see it. So yeah, the gold's still there, even after wiping off the acid and even putting this stuff that's supposed to clean the acid off of this block. Gold's still there. So we know that it's at least not less than 10 karat. So let's go to the 14 karat and see what happens then. All right, so let's get the 14 karat, which is this one. We're gonna dab a little on there. 1 drop, plop, and let's see what happens. So I'm not really seeing anything happening to it. It's still there. I'm gonna let it sit there for just a second. Maybe you need to let it sit there longer than normal. It doesn't say how long to put it on there. It doesn't say anything else like that, but yeah, I put it on there and it's not going anywhere. So yeah, it didn't go anywhere. So I'm gonna wipe it down really good, clean that off real good, and we'll go to the 14 karat, or no, the 18 karat. I just did the 14 karat. Woo, all that gold. All right, 18 karat, here we go. 1 drop, plop, and let's see what happens. Okay, now after doing the 18 karat, it is starting to fade a little bit, not completely dissolving, but fading. Yeah, it's definitely not as visible as it was. So I'm gonna wipe this off, wipe it on the rest of this and see what happens to the gold. After rubbing it, it definitely made that gold disappear. It's not on there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the 22 karat plus and see what the reaction is on that. But yeah, you cannot see it, except for the area that I didn't drop it on. So I'm wondering if you have to rub it in as well to get an accurate reading. All right, so there's my last little strip of gold right there, as you can see. Ooh, it's even yellow. So this must be like super acid or something. 1 drop. Let's see what happens. So yeah, just by dropping it on there, it doesn't fully dissolve and take away the gold, because the gold's still there. Now it's not. Now it's well, a little bit of it still is. Yeah, but most of it dissolved. There's very little left on there, if you can see. I don't know if you can see that. Where that droplet hit, it's very, very faint. So I would say that that piece of gold is probably somewhere between, I don't know, 16 to 20 karat. Would that be a fair assessment? It clearly did better than these 3. Like the first two right here, the gold's still on there. This one, which was the 18 karat, it dissolved it a little but didn't completely make it disappear, and then this kind of did the same as that. My conclusion is I still don't know what kind of carat of gold that is. I'm going to just guesstimate and say that's probably somewhere in the, like I said, 16 to 20 karat, pretty good. 16 to 18, we'll call it 18 karat. Okay, so let's do one more test. I got one more piece of gold, one of my biggest little nuggets right there. Looks a little rusty, looks a little dull, so I'm hoping maybe this, I don't hope it's less than, but it's got a little piece of quartz in it too. Check this one out. This time I'm gonna go in reverse. I'm gonna start with the biggest and go to the smallest. Let's go ahead and just start with the 24K or 22K. One drop, put my top back on my gold. Don't want to lose that. So that definitely did some dissolving. It's not 100% gone, but let me rub it in there and see what happens. It pretty much disappeared. Let's go to 14 karat. And you can see the spot that hit, well, maybe you can't. You can see the spot, I can see the spot where that acid hit. There's the gold and there's where that acid hit. It didn't 100% dissolve it, but it did pretty much take most of it out. So we know that it's not 22 and up. So let's do it again. So there's my new mark right there. Let's get the 14K, put a drop on there and see what happens. Well, it's not big enough. There we go. So looking at this one, it's not doing much of anything. See if you can see it through my magnifying glass. I don't know if you can, but like glare doesn't help. That seems to not be doing anything either. Let's wipe it down. Yeah, so after video review, I went from 22 to 14, which was not smart. So I forgot the 18, sorry. So let's do this. Well, we know it's greater than 14. And we know that it's less than 12 or 22. So let's go right down the middle, see what happens. This is the 18, double check. So yeah, that disappeared as well. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So it looks like I got somewhere between 14 and 18 karat. I would say definitely by looking at this block, I have, we'll say 14 on this piece right here. So that's a 14 karat piece of gold. So you can see where it disappeared on the 22 and the 18, but the 14 didn't do anything. So yeah, I think we definitely got somewhere between 14 and 18 karat on that. And that's the best I can do. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know anything about the company, JSP. I don't know if there's other companies that make this type of stuff as well. And I don't know anything about those higher priced digital gold testers as well. They're pretty expensive. I'm not there yet. Like I said, I keep my placer gold anyway, so I really don't care too much about how many carats the gold has unless I did decide to melt it down. But I think the test works decent, but it wasn't as clear as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit more defined, like if it wasn't 14 karat, it would just totally disappear. But I had to do a little rubbing and stuff just to kind of get it in there to see if it would. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not. I would assume you would not, because the directions does not say anything about rubbing it in the gold. So, but it gives you a pretty decent account of what your purity is on this stuff. But as far as 100% giving you a precise amount, no. So anyway, that was my, I don't know, it was going to be a quick video, and it's probably turned out to be a 20-minute video on gold testing with acid. So all right, that's it for me. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, like button, share button. If you have any comments, I'm sure people have got a ton of comments. If I did something wrong, if there's something that I should have done, if there's other tests that you know of that are a lot better and more accurate than what I just did, leave them in the comments below. Let me know, because, you know, I've said it a million times. I'm a rookie. It's the first time I ever even tried to test this stuff, so I'm learning as I'm going. So if you have any helpful hints and tips and tricks of the trade and all that stuff, leave them in the comments below. I would appreciate it. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you all for watching again. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you have subscribed, thank you so much for doing so. I will see you guys later. Bye.